Hey everybody, back again today with another classic album song ranking, our 15th in the series. Glad to be joined by my usual partner, Sam St. John. Just went over the 500 sub mark, so congrats to Sam. Also his band Cosmic Torpedoes with Glenn KELLAWAY. Check those videos out. Great name, penned by Randall Nelson. And it's starting to stick. People are catching on now, so. Sam, thanks for coming back and doing this series with us. It's a pleasure. Yeah. Our special guest today is Chris Propfe, musically obsessed, who recently went over the 2,000 mark. So congrats on that. Thank you to Chris for plugging my channel recently. A lot of these guys did videos and got me over the 500 mark as well, and I really appreciate it. If you don't know Chris, I'm sure you do, but if you don't, go over, check his channel out. He's as diverse as anybody. Johnny Cash to Metallica to Coltrane to the Monkees, Kiss, and everything in between. Joni Mitchell, I know he's a fan of hers as well. So you can get all kinds of music over there. He's a guitar player, singer, songwriter, teacher. So great to have you, Chris. It's been a long time lining this schedule up, but we're finally here and we're doing more of the Monkees. Classic.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I can't believe, we got to all show our
hold her up here.
What? Oh, here's the thing too, guys. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to show my cassette version.
There it is. Why not?
Or the CD version too. So
Yeah. Bring them all out.
So this is the 15th time you guys have ranked albums?
15.
Wow. And this is the first time I've been on. Holy crap.
First time. Well, we hope to have you again if this goes well, which I'm sure it will. More of the Monkees. We wanted to do a Monkees album. We weren't sure which one. And I think this has as much classic material on it as any. So this was the one to do. What we do, if you haven't seen our videos before, is we just rank the songs from worst to best. And at the end, we give a overall ranking of the album from 1 to 10, 10 being perfect, 1 being horrible, and 5 being right in the middle. So we'll get to that at the end. But a little bit about the Monkees. For me, I'm older than both these gentlemen. I was born in 57. So the Monkees come out in 66. I'm 9 years old. The music, I loved pop radio at that time. It was the Beatles, the British Invasion, the Beach Boys, Motown. That was what it was filled with. Here come the Monkees, dominating the charts. What separates them, of course, is they have a TV show that you can watch every week. So you get to see them in living color, see the personalities, hear their songs, and they just went through the roof. They dominated the album charts from late 66 through 67. I noticed today doing some research, they had the #1 album in the United States for 31 straight weeks.
Wow.
13 to debut and 18 this album that we're going to do today. So they were on top, and everything they touched was gold. They were all over the magazine, 16 magazine, and all those publications that the teeny boppers ate up. Davy Jones was the pretty boy, and he was featured on all the covers, and just great stuff. And I always liked their music. Unfortunately, they only lasted a couple of years on TV, and then they became an oldies act and a reminiscing kind of band. You guys are younger, so you picked them up later and went back and rediscovered them. So anxious to hear what your initial thoughts were the Monkees, how you caught on and how you followed them all the way through. Chris, let's start with you. How did you catch on?
Right. Well, I'm younger than you, but I'm older than Sam.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
I was born in 74. And the Monkees sort of had a resurgence in the 80s. They started playing their shows again. I believe it was on MTV, I want to say. Or wait, Nick at Night or something. I don't know. They were playing their shows again. And then they had a hit song in the 80s called That Was Then, This Is Now. And I loved that tune. And then, like you were saying, Rich, I saw them visually in their show, and I just fell in love with their personalities. And then to go along with that, they had this great music. So I was just mesmerized. And then as a kid, I just wanted everything Monkees. And I've been a fan ever since. probably a bigger fan now than I was when I was a kid, but I just have this connection to the Monkees, and I know Sam is going to mention this too. I have a huge connection to Michael Nesmith, and Michael Nesmith being a singer-songwriter, a country artist. You know, I think him being in the Monkees is a big draw for me because I'm a big country music fan. And I'm telling you right now, the Monkees had freaking pedal steel guitars on their albums back in the 60s before. And I know, like, you know, the Byrds were doing it, you know, the Eagles, of course, eventually, Graham Parsons, things like that. But I mean, the Monkees had pedal steel guitar on those early albums. So I don't know. I just fell in love with them.
Cool. How about you, Sam?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off that, talking about the country element to it. I mean, that very first album has Papa Jean's Blues on it, which just has that twangy guitar. And like Chris said, the Byrds were doing it, but the Byrds weren't really doing it until like 1968, 69.
Right.
The Monkees are doing this in 66. So, and the 60s, 3 years was a huge, you know, time difference. I mean, 66 for the Beatles, that's Revolver versus Abbey Road, or Revolver versus Please Please Me. You know, so 3 years was a lifetime in the 60s. But for me, the show is the last thing that I think of when I think of the Monkees, because it's not really in syndication anymore. It's not something that I watched growing up. It wasn't on Nick at Night or TV Land or anything like that growing up. They had taken it off for whatever reason, and the DVDs were hard to find, so you couldn't just go in and buy them at your local, you know, Best Buy or Walmart or wherever. I eventually did get the Blu-ray set this year. It came back in sale, but for me, my love for the Monkees, and I've talked about this with Glenn Kellaway on one of the first videos we did, was when they came out with Good Times, the reunion album that took place for their 50th anniversary in 2016. And of course, it was without Davey to an extent. They put some archival recordings on from Davey's, you know, past in the 60s. So I fell in love with that album, and I was really getting into it. And I got to give credit to my friend. I know he's somebody that Chris contacts as well. My friend Tommy Burton from Tommy's Musical Adventures. I was watching his channel a year or two before I started making videos, and he was always pushing Nez videos on his channel, whether it was the First National Band trilogy, whether it was just information about his recording with Pacific Arts or doing Video Ranch. He was going into the history of Michael Nesmith, which had me intrigued. I started buying Nesmith CDs, Nesmith records, and was just completely blown away by Nez. And so now it's, you know, if Nesmith, if there's gonna be some vocal element from Michael Nesmith, I want to have it. And like Tommy, and maybe even like Chris, I'm more of a Nez fan than a Monkees fan. I prefer Nez over the catalog of the Monkees, just because of his personality. And that's the thing, they were like the Beatles. Their personalities made them that was a big part of who they were. But with that being said, you know, I've been collecting the Monkees now for the past few years, and you know, I'm fortunate that I was able to see them, Mike and Mickey, at least on their last hoorah last year.
And I just want to say one more thing too, and I'm not comparing the Monkees and the Beatles at all.
Yeah.
And that's not what this video is about. But I will say this: I find myself listening to the Monkees more than I listen to the Beatles. Yeah. And again, I don't know what that means. I'm not saying the Monkees are better than the Beatles. I'm not saying the Beatles are better than Monkees. I'm not. They're almost like two different worlds for me.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I listen to the Monkees more. And I think, like what you were saying, Sam, I think it's the Nesmith component. The Beatles really didn't do country music. I mean, I know they covered Act Naturally. I know Ringo sang Act Naturally. And I think American country music was a little bit of an influence for them. But the Monkees embraced it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Great. All right, awesome. Let's jump in. What we're going to do is go Chris, Sam, and myself in that order, one at a time. Start with number 12 and see how we stack up here. So what do you have at number 12, Chris?
For number 12, this was easy because I hate this song. It's The Day We Fall in Love. Okay. Davey, I love you, brother, but I don't need you to be reciting this, monologue.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy because the rest of the album is so good. And then you put The Day We Fall in Love in there.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. So that was an easy number 12 for me.
How about you, Sam? You want to add to it?
Yeah, we'll roll with it here, and Rich, you can finish this off. I can tell. For me, the thing that's really annoying, and I'm going to go ahead and say, flat out, Davey, out of the four, he's number 4 for me in terms of ranking them from weakest to to the MVP, Mike Nesmith. Yeah, I just don't like the whispering at the end. You'll see. Like, I don't want to see. Like, I don't want to fall in love with you, Davey.
No.
And I know Rich and I were talking about this, I think on the phone the other day. This album came out the same year as the debut, and Michael Nesmith mentioned that he thought it was the worst album of all time because they had zero say in the release of it. And this was a big reason why they made Headquarters, and had their own input into it. But when you hear crap like The Day We Fell in Love, I'm like, why is that wasting 2 minutes of my life on this album? So yeah, I don't really want to give it more time than it needs. So Rich, finish this off. I'm
going to give it a short little thumbs down to number 12 for me. I just wrote 2 words, just dismissible crap. And that's exactly what it is. I don't like spoken word to begin with. It doesn't work on this album, full of melodic and hooks and, beautiful little ditties here and there. And it just doesn't work. I'm going to have a different MVP on. You guys are both Nesmith guys. I'm going to go in a different direction. But I think this song was just put in for one reason, and that was to capitalize on Davey's appeal to young girls at the time. He was all over the teen magazines, and they felt like he was talking to them through this song. It's like, it's as simple as that. So we're going to. He was talking to all of us, Rich.
Now, Rich, did you have a poster of Davy Jones in your room when you were young?
I did not. I did not. I have to admit.
All right. I did. So yeah, I'm just kidding.
Number 11. Let's move on.
All right. This was easy too. I'm going with the song Laugh. It's cheesy. It's another Davy song. They're literally laughing in it. The lyrics are, I don't know. They had all the best writers for them, Boyce and Hart and all these Goff and King.
Yeah.
And then they record a crappy song like Laugh. I don't know. Terrible.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll keep it rolling.
Oh my God.
Laugh for me, number 11. The whole like the ha-has in the background for the background vocals. And then
terrible.
The fact that a song says, but I require giggles and chuckles. Yeah. It's not good. It's really not good. There's a reason. It's one of those songs that I have to go back and listen to it again, thinking like, is this song as bad as I think it is?
It is.
And it is. So yeah, I'm not going to dwell on it.
On a re-listen yesterday and again today before we came on, I had to pull the trigger and get it off the stereo because I can't sit through the whole thing, even if it's 2.5 minutes. It's just a misfire. They're trying to, again, capitalize on maybe the humor of the Monkees TV show brought. Laugh. It's garbage. So those last 2 songs really don't belong on the album. They should have just went with the next 10 probably and worked from there. But we'll see what you have. I don't think we're going to agree from here on out, but those 2 were easily at the bottom.
Yeah.
What do you got, Chris? Number 10.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, like you were saying, Rich, from here on out, all these songs are great. And it wasn't hard ranking these, but I got to put Your Auntie Griselda next. And I love Peter Tork, and I love this song. It's sort of got, what is that Rolling Stone song, like 19th Nervous Breakdown? It's sort of got that vibe to it. It's another novelty tune though. So I like it. It's just, I got to rank it low though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'll keep this conversation going with Auntie Griselda. It's the first time that Peter Tork sings on a Monkees song in terms of a lead vocal, and probably only one of about 5 or 6 times that he does in their entirety. And it's terrible because Peter Tork was definitely the most talented musically out of any of them. There's just no question. He could play anything. And to see him on those later Monkees tours, like he would pull out a banjo and then he would sit at the piano and then play lead guitar and bass, and he could do anything. He was from the folk tradition. You know, if somebody was needed in a band, he could fill in for him. And I know that he hated being the stupid, you know, the stupid one out of the Monkees. I know he hated it, and that's why he bought out of his contract first.
Yeah.
And the Monkees were reduced to a trio. But it's just about, you know, an aunt who's, you know, a little too frou-frou for, you know, for the singer. And Peter, his voice is good on it, but he does like that weird like improv where he's like making like the underwater noises and like, you know, doing like with his tongue. It's just, you know, it's silly. I mean, it's pure, you know, monkey. Like it's the fit in with his character is what it is.
Yeah, I can't believe we all have that one too. I have it at number 10 as well. Very weak song, but it beats out those other two that we already buried. It's the musically, it sounds a little garagey to me. It's like this, it's not real professionally done. It's sort of abstract in a way. And you know, his vocal of, I know she's having a fit, she doesn't like me a bit, you know, just goofy stuff. And it was easy to put it number 10 for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, this one I'm gonna probably catch some flack for.
Okay.
But I'm going with I'm a Believer. And here's the thing, it's a great tune, but it's way overplayed for me. And I think too, it's the one Monkey song that everybody knows, because wasn't it in Shrek?
Yep.
Yes.
Smash Mouth.
And, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I like the song. I just think I've just heard it so many times. There's better tunes on the album.
Good way to put it.
I know. I'm gonna catch some flack from Monkees fans, but
yeah, you gotta go with the old Mickey Dolenz joke that he used for years. He said, you know, I sang this song way before Shrek. He used that joke for like 15 years, and by that point, the kids that were going to the Monkey shows didn't even know what Shrek was.
Yeah,
because Shrek's 20 years old.
Right.
For me, we're finally some diversity here, and it was actually, Chris, it was hard for me, if you know anything about me, is I fall into the whole overplayed thing where I disregard a song. Well, not that you're disregarding a song, but I put a song way back because I just get tired of it.
Yeah.
Like the Hotel California's, the Stairway to Heaven, songs like that. But for me, it's another Davey song. It's When Love Comes Knocking. It's a Neil Sedaka co-write, which is I like Neil Sedaka. It's actually one of the best Davey vocals, but you know, he's got that Davey vibrato, which I'm not big on. I mean, he was on Broadway. He was in Oliver as the title character, so he had that showman type singing quality to him, which is hit or miss for me. But then, like, again, it's one of those weird fade outs for me where he's going like at your door. It's like he's like mid laugh. You can tell he's kind of having fun with it. But I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, throw off the chains that bind and leave the past behind. No need to worry anymore when love comes knocking at your door.
Yeah.
This is like the first instance out of the 3 songs that I've mentioned so far, that we've all mentioned, where there's actually, you know, a songwriter that's the name is recognizable with Neil Sedaka. So yeah, it's a good song. It's your standard Davy Jones cutesy kind of song.
Yeah.
So
All right, well, that's one I like a lot, so we'll be hearing that later.
wow.
I'm going to go, what are we at, number 9? Yeah, number 9. I have to go with the Nesmith song. I'm sorry, the kind of girl I could love. I like it. I think it's way better than the 3 we mentioned before, but got that twangy guitar, that Southwestern country vibe, which is cool. It breaks up most of the other album, which is bubblegum pop or, you know, hooks and little catchy tunes. This is different. There's a video I saw on it yesterday where Mike's singing it, and the audience is having a great time. They're bopping around and dancing. They got the red suits on, and there's some cowbells involved. I like the song. I'm not as familiar with it as I am the other 8 in front of it. So that's why it's going at number 9.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we'll continue to talk to you, Rich. That's, you know, even though you ranked it so low.
Thank you very much.
Well, most people have probably turned off the video by this point because I ranked I'm a Believer so low, but whatever. All right, next I'm going with Hold On Girl.
Ooh,
Great tune. I love the part after he says help is on its way.
Yeah.
There's that da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
That makes the song for me.
Yep.
it's great.
Yeah, it's a cool tune, and you know, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel like Sam's got really good explanations. I'm like, yeah, I like the song. It's a good song, but yeah, I'm putting Hold On Girl in that spot.
Very good.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, nice.
It's right there for me again. It's I think it's the Davy Jones factor for me. But I do like, again, like Chris said, the organ makes that song, the music makes the song over the words.
Yeah.
Just your typical teeny bop type song, you know.
Yeah.
The call and response, hold on girl, be a little stronger, hold on girl, wait a little longer. And then I love that, like you said, the help is on its way.
Yeah, cool.
I love that. And his voice, he's kind of singing the voice a little bit softer than he normally does, so it's not as harsh, which is why I have it higher than When Love Comes Knocking.
Yeah.
And then again, that organ puts it that extra notch ahead. So it's right there in the middle of the pack for me.
Cool.
Very good. My number 8. Is it 7? What am I up to?
8.
8.
Number 8.
Another one that's pretty popular among Monkees fans, Mary Mary.
Oh.
Ooh.
Another tune written by Nesmith, sung by Mickey. The Wrecking Crew behind it, of course. I think Mickey's got a great voice. I think he's my favorite Monkee, by the way. I love his voice throughout and every song he's ever done. He really belts it out at the end too with that Mary, Mary, where are you going to? Just where are you going to, Mary, Mary? And he's screaming it at the end. Real passionate. This was the one that was featured in 5 episodes of the TV show. So they kept bringing it back and showing it was popular. It wasn't a single, believe it or not, but it's kind of a deep cut that could have been a smash hit, though. I think it's got all the ingredients to be a big hit. They just didn't release it as such. But I just love this album so much that the other songs in front of it, I keep repeating myself with that. But it's hard to rank this album because a lot of these mean a lot to me growing up at that age at 9 or 10. And it shouts 4th grade to me when I'm in 4th grade. They used to play this when we had indoor recess. The girls would have the 45s or the album and be dancing around. I can still see those images to most of these songs. And I like 60s pop to begin with, and these guys were just at the height of their career. So Mary Mary's going to come in at number 8.
Yeah, and I don't think I said this before. This was actually the first Monkees album that I ever heard all the way through because my dad owned it.
Yeah.
And it was the only album by the Monkees that he had. So I wore his copy out. It was already worn out, and I wore it out even more. So yeah, and it's not my favorite Monkees album by a long shot, but you know, just figured I'd throw that little tidbit in there.
Yeah.
All right, so Sam and I flip-flop because my next tune is When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door. And I don't know, it's got sort of a country rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Davy's vocals. Davy sings on that one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I get confused sometimes. The older I get. But I like the melody of the tune too. It's got, for me, it's got a sing-along melody. So I just think it's interesting that Sam and I flip-flop those two. But yeah, so I'm putting that in that spot.
Good one.
Number 7 for me. Let's just keep the Davy train rolling here. Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. It's one of the big ones in terms of the songwriter. It's Neil Diamond, and it sounds like Neil Diamond. And Neil Diamond did his own version of it too in the late 60s. And I've never been a big Neil Diamond guy. I've tried. My mom loves Neil Diamond, and I've given her several albums and compilations as gifts throughout the years. But and I've listened to I've got a couple on vinyl. Jeff Witcher gave me a couple of his early comps, and then I've got a couple of later Rick Rubin produced albums. But he's just, again, that he's got like that showman type voice that I'm not crazy about. But this is a good song. Again, it's about, you know, the narrator being Davy, loving 2 girls, Mary and Sandra, and, you know, which one is he gonna love? And His voice, he actually has a little bit of grit in his voice, which is a big statement, you know, about Davy Jones. But when he gets that chorus, you know, will I see all kinds of sorrow? Wish I only loved one. Look out, here comes tomorrow. Oh, how I wish tomorrow would never come. That's a very Neil Diamond stanza. And you can always tell when the Neil Diamond songs appear. I mean, there's no denying the man's talent. And I mean, he was a hit machine in the 60s for other people. He could just sit at home, write off the songs and, you know, make the big bucks. But I like the song a lot. It's one of my favorite Davy tunes. So that's number 7.
Yeah, I like that song. I'm a Neil Diamond guy too, especially in the 60s and early 70s. After that, he dropped off, but I like that.
I love Neil Diamond too. I saw him live, actually. He put on a great show.
I think he's a really
Sure.
talented and kind of underrated person in the history of music. My number 7 is a Mickey song, Sometime in the Morning, which I love. It's a ballad, really beautiful, real smooth, and it's a change up to a lot of these other pop tunes. This is more of a mellow, it gives you that soothing feeling, excellent harmonies in the background, written by Carole King and Jerry Goffin, her husband, and it's a solid song, but number 7, right in the middle of the pack for me on this album.
Cool. We're all over the place, the three of us.
We are. I knew we would be. Well, the bottom we had covered, but after this, it's going to be a free-for-all.
Yeah.
All right. So my next one, again, this might ruffle some feathers. I'm putting I'm Not Your Stepping Stone in this spot. I love this song. I feel like this song has a lot of different parts to it. There's that boom, there's like that little middle heavy section. The guitar is pretty heavy in this song too. Mickey's got a strong vocal, but I'm just looking at my other choices here. I just like some of the other songs a little bit better. So, and again, I'm Not Your Stepping Stone is great. I don't feel like it's overplayed like I'm a Believer.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird with rankings because, again, you ask me maybe 2 months from now, I might have it up a little bit higher, but there you go.
Very cool.
Number 6, I'm flip-flopping with Rich here. Well, not flip-flopping, but I'm taking his number 7. It's Sometime in the Morning. And again, Goffin and King, fantastic songwriters. They were gold for the Monkees. I mean, I don't know what kind of success the Monkees would have had without Jerry Goffin and Carole King. Beautiful vocal by Mickey Dolenz.
I think so. Yeah.
Again, just a great ballad, but he really has like that high roof on his mouth in terms of how high he can sing. It's almost hymn-like the way that the music is. It's you know, sometime in the morning you'll just reach out and she will be there, close as the summer air. Very 60s, but you know, also it's pretty timeless. And it's one of those, it would have been cool to hear Mickey do this live. I don't know how often he does this, if he's ever done it live. But it's one of his best vocals, and really one of the few Mickey vocals on here. This is a pretty Davy dominated album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mickey might have 4. Peter 1.
Nez 1.
Nez 1 and Davy the rest, something like that. I think that's how it breaks down. I could be wrong. But my number 6 is one you guys both covered, Hold On Girl. I like it a little bit more. Love the thing you focused on with the piano or keyboard. I think it's a catchy song. I like the beat that goes through. I promise you the sun is gonna shine again and help is on this way. And then they go, hold on, girl. Da, 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 da. You know, and there's a little middle section where they're clapping. It sounds like a clap, like almost an audience response where they're, and then it picks up with the chorus at the end. I think it's a good vocal by Davy, a good song. It wasn't a hit, kind of an underrated little gem on the album for me personally, because a lot of the other albums is really smash oriented stuff like I'm a Believer, Stepping Stone, and even Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. Those are all catchy songs, but got to go with Hold On Girl at number 6. So it's just in the top half of the album for me.
All right, so we're up to number 5, right?
Number 5, top 5.
All right, top 5. Here we go. So I'm going with Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. I just have always loved that song. Look out,
Yeah.
here comes tomorrow. And you know, Davey sometimes annoys me, but I feel like in that song, he does a good job. And that's another one where, you know, I love the melody of that. Just like when I was talking about When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door, I feel like Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow is sort of, it's upbeat. It's got a good melody to it. It's well written. And like I said, Davey doesn't annoy me in the song. So Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow.
Good one.
Not being an annoyance can definitely help your rankings.
Yeah, Davey can get annoying.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Number 5 for me, Chris mentioned it a while back. It's the other Neil Diamond song, I'm a Believer. Again, a lot of the same reasons, especially for me growing up, because not only did you have the Monkees version on the radio, Smash Mouth was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That song was everywhere, and it's in commercials, and the Monkees always closed with it. You know, they would do Daydream Believer to finish off the main set, and then I'm a Believer would finish off at least, you know, recent Monkees. Back in the day, it was fun. It's funny to look at old set lists for the Monkees, and this song is like the second or third song that they play because it wasn't the monster that it became in the 21st century. It's a great song. It's full on 60s. It kind of set the Monkees up to that next level. Again, I love the organ's great, that bum 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 bum, and then great guitar, kind of that little twang to the guitar, and then again, Mickey kind of sings soft with that, I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and then just it's a great pop song. It really is. I love the background vocals of the oh yeah, that's great. But yeah, it's never been my favorite Monkey song, even when that was the only Monkey song I knew. It was never a favorite song of mine. So
yeah,
very good. My number 5 is the same as Chris. Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow, Neil Diamond tune. I like Davey's vote. It's a puppy love, kind of innocent puppy love song where you're choosing between Mary and Sandra, and gives a little attributes. Say Mary, oh what a sweet girl, lips like strawberry pie. Sandra, long hair, pigtails, can't make up my mind, and it gets into the chorus. I just like that little puppy love kind of stuff when I'm that age, and I've carried it with me. I think it's a great, catchy little tune. So it's definitely top 5 material for me.
All right, top 4. Number 4, Mary Mary. Nesmith tune. Why didn't Nesmith sing this song though?
I
don't know. Do we know?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Okay. Because like we were saying before, Nesmith only sang one song on this album. I would have liked to have heard his vocals on Mary Mary. Are there recordings of him doing Mary Mary, like as a bonus track somewhere on some box set or something?
That I don't know, and I don't know if it's on. This is the Run Out Groove.
Yeah, I guess I should look at my Run Out Groove here too.
I don't think it. No, they don't have an extra cut for that.
Mary Mary, it's a great song. And I was reminded when I was looking up the history of it too. Run DMC, the rap band, covered it as well in the 80s.
Why you bugging?
Yeah, so it sort of had a resurgence in the 80s as well. Yeah, Mary Mary, where are you going to? And then that little guitar comes in. It just got that sort of, I think Rich had mentioned too, and I forgot what song it was, but Mary Mary has sort of a garage rock quality to it.
Yeah, it does.
But I like that. I like that garage, that sort of rough on the edge sort of quality to it. And I think Mary Mary sort of falls into that.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, number 4 for me, it's a Voice and Heart tune. She. Love this song. I love the drumming, the she bum 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 bum. I love the background vocals.
Yeah.
I don't know offhand how many Monkees are actually on this song. I think Voice and Heart are the ones singing the backgrounds. That was pretty common back in the day. With the call and response, and then she only did me wrong now, and then they go, hey, I'm better off alone. It's just really it's really well sung. It's really well played. I love how Mickey kind of has like that almost like a faux English accent where he's like, she turned around and broke my heart.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, oh, here's Mickey, this California kid saying hot.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've always liked the background vocals. I love the organ is very, very 60s, kind of groovy, as it were. So it's my number 4.
Nice. My number 4 is When Love Comes Knocking at Your Door. You guys already talked about it. I think both of you did. Just a well-crafted pop song. The beautiful harmonies in it. Davey's voice was made for this song, in my opinion. I like the lyrics too. You'll see a rainbow every day. The sun will shine in every way. Throw off the chains that bind and leave the past behind. No need to worry anymore when love comes knocking at your door. And then I know, and then the chorus comes in. It's really a cool song. And number 4 for me.
All right, down to the wire here. It's top 3. I'm going with She. And again, like Sam was saying, great tune. Mickey does a great vocal on it. What makes the song for me is it opens up the album, but it opens up with that guitar lick. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
Killer.
boom, 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 boom. It's just got a good groove to it. But yeah, it opens up with a little electric guitar. It's got a fuzzy quality to it. So yeah, it's a cool tune.
Nice. Very good.
Well, number 3, it may be surprising to some people that it's my number 3 just because of what I've talked about in many of my videos. It's the Nesmith vocal, The Kind of Girl I Could Love. Again, it's incredibly short, and I wish it was longer, and obviously I wish there were more Nez tunes on the record, but I like that it is a Nez tune. He covered it with Roger Atkins. And I love how his voice, he's very country in that song with his voice. You know, he's like, my heart has no doubt that you're the kind of girl I could love. I love how it's like, just he's belting it, the vocals, and it's just one of those instances where you realize how good of a singer Nez was. I mean, even when he was 78 years old, he was still, because when I saw him, he was still doing a few of the songs that they ended up cutting from their set list. He was still doing, you know, like Me and Magdalena and Circle Sky. He was really still hitting those high notes, and he's really underappreciated as a singer. I mean, I know, and Rich, you probably agree. People say Mickey is like one of the best pop rock singers ever, especially that era.
Yeah.
But Nez is underappreciated because Nez could sing, you know, low ballads, but he could also hit those high notes, and this is one of those instances where he's on the higher end. So it's number 3 for me.
My number 3 might be a surprise to people that have watched the series, because I usually put the biggies at the top, but my number 3 is I'm a Believer, just mainly for the overplayedness of it. I love the song. Obviously, it's a classic. It's one of the essential 60s tracks by anybody. 7 weeks at number 1, perfect pop song. It captures the Monkees at their absolute peak for me. It's got everything: music, lyrics, awesome song. But the 2 in front of it are just favorites of mine that I couldn't bury them behind that. So I'm going to go with I'm a Believer, number 3.
Cool. All right. Well, my number 2 is The Kind of Girl I Could Love. Again, the Nesmith tune that Sam just talked about. It is a little short. I like the song, though. I wish there were more Nesmith songs on this album. But again, it's a great country song. And, you know, like we said in the beginning of the video, nobody around this time was really doing a lot of that country stuff, especially on a pop album.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Good choice.
All right, number 2 is it's the other Nesmith song on the album, but it's sung by Mickey, Mary Mary. And just again, we've talked about it, you know, already. It's a garage rock song covered originally by the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. The Run DMC version. It's actually funny. I was the one. This is one of those songs I used to sing all the time. When one of the first Monkees albums that I got was the Rhino Greatest Hits that came out. I bought it at a used book fair in college, and this song was one of the ones that really was an earworm to me. And I would always sing, you know, Mary, Mary when I was home, and my mom would say, "Why are you bugging?" And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, "What do you?" Because I would sing like, "Where are you going to?" And she wouldn't know what I was talking about. And I mean, obviously, mathematically, my mother is older than I am, but she didn't know that it was a Monkees tune. She knew it as Run DMC because she went to college in the 80s. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a great song. I love Mickey at the end, you know, belting it, where you going to?
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, till I win your love again and walk beside you, but until then, Mary, Mary, where you going? It's just really, really good. I would have loved to hear Nez do it. Again, it's a classic garage rock song. And I even like hearing the Monkees when they were playing their own instruments live in concert. This was one of those that fit their style of playing because it was already a garage rock song anyway. So it flowed seamlessly into their live touring repertoire.
Very nice. My number 2 is She, lead off track. Really an underrated gem. Mickey again with the voice, the opening guitar lick by that Chris mentioned, the harmonies, just hooks galore. I love the lyrics as well. She said she never hurt me, and then she turned around and broke my heart. Why am I standing here missing her and wishing she were here? And you know, the little interlude there, and then at the end he's screaming, why am I missing her? I should be kissing her. And he's really belting it out. Great deep cut, and has all the elements again of a hit. This should have been released as a single. I think it would have been a top 10 hit for sure.
Yeah. All right, number 1. And I'm looking at my choice here. It's such a strange choice for number 1, but I don't know. I think the older I get, the sappier I get. Like I'm a big folk fan too. Like I love folk songs. I love just pretty melodies. And I got to go with Sometime in the Morning. I know it's a weird number 1, but I don't know. I just have a connection to that song. I love Mickey's vocals on it. Yeah. It's a beautiful melody. I think it's one of, obviously I'm putting it in number 1. I think it's one of the best written songs on the album. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but I got to go with Sometime in the Morning.
It's a great song. It really is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were going to talk about The Day We Fell in Love Again.
No, we can't.
I should have picked that as my number 1. Yeah.
Really?
No, I just love like we all do. I like a well-crafted song. And yeah, there's just something about that song that I connect with. I dig it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're on the same page, Rich, for our number 1.
It's been a while too, Sam, since we hooked up on a connection.
It's been a while, and this is because we said it's 15 in this series, but we also did all the Beatles albums too, and then we did an episode of like our first 10 videos where we ranked those. So
yeah,
number 1 for me is the ultimate garage song, "I'm Not Your Stepping Stone." Another Boyce and Hart classic. Killer opening guitar. I love the intro with all the voices, you know, I'm not just stepping stone, and then I love how it speeds up with, you know, not just stepping stone, da, 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 da. Just it's just so well written, and then the drumming on it is just killer. The doom, it's almost like tribal drumming.
They're like rolling drums that come in. It's really
they're using those mallets. There's the drumming. And I mean, it was covered by originally Paul Revere and the Raiders. They have a great version of it too. It's right on par with the Monkees version. Apparently the Sex Pistols have a version. I've never heard that.
I never heard it.
And Tom Petty also covered this in his later years, like in 2014 or 15. He did it live. And they were doing a lot of deep cuts at the Forum and the Beacon theaters. And cool. They do a really cool version of it. It's just one of those great songs. Like, you know, you can't tell me what to do. I'm not your pin cushion, you know, right. I'm not the one that you can push around. So really great vocal by Mickey, great background vocals by Boyce and Hart. It's just a classic Monkees song.
Yeah, I agree. It's number 1. There's not much I can add to. I love the arrangement of it all the way through. It just, and it does rock for a Monkees song. It has a rocking kind of edge to it, which some of the other ones are more bubbly gum and that kind of stuff. But this is elevated pop to me. It just rocks. I love Mickey's voice, as I've said every time I mention him. And it's again, Boyce and Hart, pretty good songwriters in their own right, and brings back a lot of memories to me. I love this song, so it's going to be number 1. I like, you know, 9 of the 12 songs are really excellent. It's just a matter of where they fit in. The last
Yeah.
3 at the bottom, I could live without. And if I were a Monkee at that time, I'd be pissed off that they were put on the album without my permission, because that's what they did. The Monkees are off touring, and for commercial reasons, the company, was it Cold Gems, I guess, put this out
Yeah.
and took advantage of their popularity, and they didn't have the band's approval, and it caused a little friction in the band, especially with Mike, who was a songwriter as well. So
I should have ranked Stepping Stone higher. Now I feel bad about that.
where'd you have it? What was it?
1, 2, 3, 4. I had it at 6. I should have ranked it higher.
It's hard though with really 9 good songs.
To be fair, Chris's number 1 was my number 6. So
Yeah, and that's why these rankings are so difficult. And I go back to some of my old videos that I've ranked things, and I'm like, why did you rank that at that position? And I don't know. I think for whatever reason, it's like how we're feeling right now.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And like if we did this video over again, I would probably now rank Stepping Stone higher, just because what you guys are saying, it's ringing true. I'm like, yeah, you're right about that song. And sometimes like you almost need to talk to other people,
yeah,
and bounce ideas off of each other. And now I'm like, yeah, I should have ranked that higher.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's done now. So
It's in stone.
But it is good to exchange ideas and thoughts on songs that we all love. And, the ranking is just an exercise, like you said, how we're feeling today or whenever we put the list together. But it's subject to change. It always is.
Yeah.
Like if Sam and I go back and do our Beatles thing ever again, we had a certain ranking then. It might change. It might fluctuate how we're feeling now 6 months later. You never know.
yeah.
Anyway, before we get out of here, we're going to rank the album on the 1 to 10 scale. Like I said, 10 being a masterpiece, 1 being shoddy, and 5 being strictly mediocre. What do you have, Chris?
Oh, I didn't even know we were going to be doing this one. I know you mentioned in the beginning. So 10 being the best, huh?
10 being just an absolute pristine classic masterpiece.
And we can give it 0.5s too. We can give it
We
like
can do a half to like a.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, okay. So let's see. Well, it's definitely not a 10. I'd probably say in the Monkees catalog, because I like a lot of other stuff better.
Yeah.
And just with a couple of those Davy tunes, I'm going to say 7.5.
Yeah. It's a fair rating. What about you, Sam?
It's not a 10 for me because again, you know how I am, and I mean just those 12, 11, 10 songs are just not great. And even for me it's a very average album. My gut is telling me like a 6.5.
That's what you go with.
I really love, like the top 4 songs I really love, but they can't make an album, a 10 or a 9. So yeah, it's probably my lowest ranked album so far.
I think it's going to be my lowest ranked album that we've done too, and it's a 7.5. I agree with Chris. I have to go with my instincts, and that's where I put it. It's not an 8, but I don't think it's quite a 7 either. So I'm going to put it at 7.5, which is still a nice album. It's got a batch of good songs, but it has those ones that drag it down and make it,
Now, and I like the later Monkees albums. Like if we were talking about Pisces right now, Pisces is a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. And and Jeff Witcher knows this, and this is a strange one, but my favorite Monkees album is Present.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's pronounced Present or Present. And Peter Tork wasn't even involved in the album, but Michael Nesmith's songs on that album he's got Listen to the Band on there, Good Clean Fun, Never Tell a Woman Yes. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And I like all the other tunes on it too. Instant Replay, another one. Nesmith's got While I Cry on there, which is one of his best tunes. Those are both 10s for me as well. Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees, that's probably like a 9 for me.
What about their first album, their debut? Where would you rank that?
I'd probably, the first debut has Gonna Buy Me a Dog on it, right? Which I hate that freaking song.
Yeah.
And the theme song, I don't know. I'd probably say it's better than the first album. I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's got Papa Gene on, it, which is one of my favorite Monkey
Yeah,
songs.
I'm gonna look at the track listing right now though,
I am too. I think.
because I might want to change.
Oh, it's got some great songs on there. It's got Clarksville. It's got
Yeah.
Sweet Young Thing, Take a Giant Step.
Well, Saturday's Child is killer. I Want to Be Free. I love Davey's vocals on that.
I love that song.
Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day is great. Papa Gene's Blues. Take a Giant Step is awesome. That's like Stepping Stone's sister.
Yeah.
Last Train to Clarksville. I like that song.
Mhm.
This just doesn't seem to be my day. This is a strong album. Let's Dance On. That's that rock tune. I'll Be True to You. Yeah. I don't like Sweet Young Things on there. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my 8. I'm gonna say that's an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Take off gonna buy me a dog.
Sam, do you give it an
Yeah.
8 or higher or right around an 8?
Yeah, I'd probably put it around there too. Because
Okay.
yeah, there's last couple of songs. I mean, I love Giant Step, but Let's Dance On has never been one of my favorites. So that it puts it a little bit lower for me.
Headquarters is a 10 for me.
Even with well no, what that's not even with like Zilch on that. No,
Yeah, I like Zilch. I like that weird stuff.
no. So
Yeah, but I mean, I love Head too. Like, I'm gonna give Head a 9, but Head has Circle Sky on it, and Head's got Porpoise Song, which is amazing, and
As We
it's
Go
also got the
Along.
song As We Go Along.
And then it was Long Title. I love that
yeah.
song. That's a great song. Do I have to do this all over again?
Yeah, I mean, any of that stuff, like Headquarters On, is just top notch for me. I even like Changes as well.
Yeah.
And I want to, I'll show you here. Oh, this isn't the one. I have a Rhino reissue I just got of Changes.
I got one too, like mint.
Yeah, it's got the hype sticker on it, the big.
Oh, mine's not that mint.
Yeah. But I like Changes, and by that point it was only Davey and Mickey, but you know, there's some Voice and Heart stuff on there, and it's another good album. I pulled this. I thought this was going to be what it.
Oh, the Prison. Oh no,
this is on the Windham Hill label. They're like new age type stuff. This is Daniel. I think his name is Hecht, but he's a guitar player. Phenomenal guitar player. He plays 6-string and 12-string guitar. This is an all instrumental album, but yeah, really good stuff. But anyway, I digress.
Very good. All right, guys. I appreciate Chris Propfe joining us today. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
With this, come back again. If I can talk Sam into doing Joni Mitchell, I'd love to do that with you sometime. But
Yeah.
he's not a fan. Anyway, Sam, great job as always. And remember, everybody out there, leave some comments. Give us your favorite Monkey songs. Give us a list. If not all 12, then give us maybe your top 5. We'd like to hear some feedback. Like, subscribe, both these gentlemen. We'll be back next week with a new one. So appreciate you watching. Take care. Bye.